Okay, so I'm going to discuss the rubric, which is state the problem, intervention, description of the outcomes, and for APA style. APA style is how you set up your paper, how it's organized. Now, when we're talking about the problem that we are having in this in my paper is the psychological and stress behaviors within the workplace and in children. I said workers are having issues with completing their work because of the fact that they feel stressed out of work. They can't find a balance between life and their social life and their work life, and they're being overwhelmed. Another issue that plays a factor in that is their role. Basically the position that is being held. Within the position, you have your supervisor, your store manager, and then you have the employee. Sometimes there's a miscommunication between the employee and the store manager. And that means that maybe something wasn't explained right, or something was based off of what you can perform and what you can't perform. Because sometimes, depending on the situation, you may not be able, or a person may not be able to perform the task that is given to them. Now, when we go into this psychological development and the emotional issues that we are dealing with, is dealing with children that have become adults but have dealt with trauma that in their life, like abuse or sexual assault, anything to that nature. They have a high dependency of drug abuse, mental illness, and let me see real quick, and depending on alcohol. Now, for issues at the workplace or stresses with the workplace, the intervention was to take a survey of some of the workers. They took a survey of how the workers are feeling, what they're dealing with, the issues that they have. So at this point, that's what the workers are doing. Now, when we're discussing the children, they also did a survey of these adults, and they found out with the adults that they have issues. That they're not functioning very well in their mental status. Either they become closed in or they become very over dependent. Now, when we're dealing with the workers for the outcomes, what the company did was they basically went in and said, hey, let's reevaluate how we deal with our workers, how we communicate, what we can do to make a job or this job better, so that way we can have a better productive team. So they made adjustments to their policy to help employees out. Now, when it comes down to the children and psychological development on their half, they're still doing research because they need to figure out how to assist them at this moment. And it's very hard to assist people when you don't have the proper research or you don't know exactly what's going on. So they did a bunch of surveys, and once they did all these surveys, they basically hey, we have to find a way to help these people. It's not just going to counseling. We have to find a way to get in there and actually get all of this so they can have get all the issues worked out so they can have a better life. I hope this is a great presentation. Have a nice day.